Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors. On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we'll be taking a look at a character from the last wave of vintage collection figures for 2024, Bo-Katan Kryze Plazir-15 from The Mandalorian. Welcome back everyone. So today we'll be taking a look at another addition to our hefty Mandalorian shelf displays, and it is Bo-Katan from Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Now I have said multiple times in many other videos that Season 3 was just full of kit bash and repack opportunities, and Hasbro is definitely taking that and putting it to use. Now this figure does come with a couple different upgrades, and I think it could have used a little bit more just to make it an absolutely stellar release, but at the same time, I'm not too disappointed to see it. But with all that being said and done, don't forget to smash a like on this video, and let's take a look at the packaging and figure. Taking a look at our vintage style packaging, we have the Star Wars and Mandalorian logo prominently displayed up top, followed by Bo-Katan Kryze Plazir-15 on a lime green nameplate color. We have a fantastic image of the character here with the darksaber ignited, looking really good with all that bright light against her helmet, and then the Kenner logo down below. Now I will say that this is a fantastic image, but there's some things about this that bother me. Now it says Plazir-15 in her nameplate title, and we're not on Plazir-15 here. I'm pretty sure this is the Imperial base on Mandalore, and this is a scene of her facing off against Moff Gideon, and maybe that could have been the title, you know, Imperial Base or Battle for Mandalore, because she never even used the darksaber in Plazir-15, I'm pretty sure. So a little odd there. And then just a small nitpick here, but we've gotten Bo-Katan cards in the past. I'm pretty sure the same green nameplate color, but the text was black on green instead of white. And I just find that a little bit hard to read there in terms of contrast and just a graphic design nitpick there. But for the most part, pretty good looking figure here on the card. Got a couple small updates there and not a bad looking card in general. On the back, she is VC 339 in the line. Bo-Katan Kryze Plazir-15, and we have a small description of the character followed by the Vintage Collection logo and additional images of the card and figure. So while I have a couple things that kind of bother me a little bit about this card in general, I still think the image of Bo-Katan with the darksaber looks absolutely phenomenal, and this will make a great addition to our ever-growing Mandalorian carded collection. Taking a look at Bo-Katan out of the packaging and focusing on the portrait, this is one of those things that actually is a little bit of a letdown for this figure in my opinion. So at minimum, they really should have tooled up a new hair piece to give her the longer hair that you saw in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And this actually wouldn't have been that difficult to do because this hair piece is actually a separate piece of plastic, I believe, that is then put onto the head itself. You can kind of see it start to split there a little bit. And yeah, so this was kind of achievable, so I'm not really sure why they didn't opt to do that. But regardless, if you are new to collecting and don't have this figure in your collection, this is a really nice one. It's a very good portrait, very representative of the actress who plays Bo-Katan, and for the most part, looks pretty good. Taking a look at this figure compared to the previous release on the right, you can see a couple noticeable differences, and mainly the thing I want to highlight is the lack of weathering and scuff marks that are seen on Bo-Katan's armor. It's kind of a shame that, you know, we're seeing less paint applications being applied to certain figures, and this was one that I think is a bit of a shame. Even taking a look at the back of the helmets, they are definitely very different. I prefer the first version of this character. Look at that weathering and just hint of darker blue that's seen on the back of the helmet. That just looks much better in my opinion as well. And then the scuff marks on the helmet are just a big miss. Those absolutely should have been included at a minimum. And then the chest plate is now a very solid piece of Beskar, it looks like, as opposed to this one, which is a little bit older, kind of scuffed up, looks like it's been in, rotation for quite a while. And yeah, I think that's a bit of a bummer. Same thing with the shin armor. You can see some weathering on it, which is not present on this new release. So that is definitely a bit of a shame. Other than that, they're the exact same figure, except for the new Mythosaur pauldron and a slight difference in the paint application of the Night Owl symbol. You can see it's much lower there on that shoulder armor, and yeah, a little bit of a shame in my personal opinion when it comes to kind of the details and paint applications. Moving on to the articulation, Bo-Katan has a lot that I want to see on my action figures. Those proper barbell hip systems, a plethora of ball joints, rocker ankles, which is always great to see, and just a very nice range of motion. Also, this soft plastic armor doesn't hinder any of the upper arm movement, which is great, and on top of it, she has hinges at the wrist, which unfortunately you don't always see with all of our female figures in the vintage collection because Hasbro likes to say that, there is not enough of a tolerance there in the factory to get that small hinge to work on very small wrist figures, which I would like them to maybe try to see if they can improve, because I always want to see all the articulation I can possibly get. But other than that, we've got some really good stuff going on here with the crunch. The helmet is on a ball joint. This is a hard plastic swappable one, so you can just pop it off and put the portrait on instead. The rangefinder is articulated, which is great. And yeah, you got some pretty good stuff going on there. Taking a look at that mythosaur pauldron, looks pretty good. Got some nice detail on there, and it's nice shiny silver. And yeah, the other thing I want to focus on is the Darksaber itself. It's no longer made of that really bendy plastic. It's actually pretty rigid, which is really nice to see that upgrade, but I don't know. There's a lot of other sacrifices here when it comes to this figure. The jetpack is removable if you are new to collecting or this figure, so you're able to put that back on like so. And yeah, all in all, I'm definitely pretty happy with this release, but I really don't like the lack of paint applications, just making it look not quite as good as the first release, unfortunately. Bo-Katan Kryze Plazir-15 adds to the hefty number of Vintage Collection repaint and kit bash opportunities from Season 3 of The Mandalorian that are now starting to make their way into our collections and shelf displays. The figure is a slight retool of the original release from 2021, and by slight retool I mean very slight, to say the least. This version of Bo-Katan has only been upgraded with a new shiny Beskar pauldron and mythosaur logo on her right arm, as well as the Darksaber accessory, which is now no longer bendy and made of a much more durable plastic. Fortunately, Bo-Katan Kryze is loaded with premium articulation and was actually one of the first figures to start implementing the new style barbell hips, which when combined with excellent range of motion plus rocker ankles, you will have no issues posing this Mandalorian warrior. While I absolutely appreciate this variant of the character, in addition to our Mandalorian Season 3 characters, it has to be said that the drastic lack of paint applications and weathering from the previous release is a bit of a letdown. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at this latest addition to our Vintage Collection Mandalorian shelf displays, Bo-Katan Kryze from Plazir-15. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to smash a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.